Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Closing Ceremonies. Woo! Thank you for staying. I know that you could have easily just gone home. So thank you so much for staying to join us to talk a little bit about kind of how the conference went and some interesting numbers and statistics and things. But first of all, just thank you for participating. Yes. It really means a lot. As I was saying during my opening remarks, that there are no attendees at a BSides event. Everybody is a participant. Everybody is joining in the conversation and actually taking part and adding new information, knowledge sharing, all kinds of things as well. So again, thank you for coming and thank you for participating. So attendance by the numbers. So we had around 1,900 attendees, participants. Then we had about 100 presenters, 200 volunteers, 70 villagers, almost 200 sponsors, et cetera, et cetera. I won't read on, but this is a total of 2,682 participants. This is our biggest BSidesSF ever. So round of applause. Yes. And honestly, this is unheard of for we talked to a lot of other events, a lot of other B-sides, just a lot of other tech events, and COVID has kind of decimated in-person conferences a lot. So we're super surprised by this, and so it really means a lot that you would all come join us in person again and do that. So thank you again for that as our most attended B-sides this year. So call for participation statistics. We had almost 400 total submissions, 386. This was mixed up between presentations, workshops, the new Birds of a Feather track that I mentioned, panels, and villagers. That was about 380 submitters with 6 different tracks. 12 different people that actually helped review all the talks for 732 different reviews. Over 2,000 emails were sent out by our program team of 5 people, and countless hours spent on this. So the number of submissions was up almost 60% from last year. So this is it seems like everybody came out of their shell this year and we're like, hey, we're going to start going to cons, we're going to start submitting stuff. And so really do appreciate that. Thank you again for coming. So final program statistics. Again, this is kind of talking a little about our different informational talks that we had, the presentations panels, and our collaborative rate. You can actually see that our acceptance rate actually went down. That means that obviously we have limited space, but because of the total number of submissions went up, that we could be more selective. And so we could do our best to make sure that the quality of the content that we're providing you is what's something that's actually going to be really valuable to you. The program team spends a lot of time. They work with all the presenters as well, making sure that everything's been reviewed and such ahead of time, because they want to make sure that it actually is meaningful to the community, and that we're not like some other conferences across the street that try to sell you things. But I didn't say that. But yes. So villages, again, our villages was amazing this year. We increased our villages, I think, by half from last year, or close to half. So I'm just going to read out all the different villages we had. We had adversary, AI, API security, bug bounty, career, cloud, crypto and privacy, embedded systems, hardware challenge, lockpick, and personal security village. Raise your hand if you were able to go to at least one village and check it out. Awesome. Cool. Yes, the villages were great. We really love having all the villages join us and participate. As I said earlier in my opening remarks, is that B-Sides is a lot more than just the talks itself. There's the entire participant hall where you can actually go and join in with these villages. We have workshops, we had the CTF, all kinds of other things as well. So again, thank you for doing that and exploring the entire facility we have here. So let's talk a little bit about Capture the Flag, players and challenge stats. So we had about 1,300 registered users. This was a record. So that ended up being about 850 teams. Teams with solves was about 600. About 400 of those were on site of the 856. So our CTF is actually available to anybody worldwide to actually participate. And so we have a lot of folks that actually join in remotely and work on that as well. So there were 48 total challenges. The team that works out, I think this next slide. Okay, let's go back. The team that puts this on every year, they work countless hours on this. Like obviously, we have my team who's putting on the event itself, but the CTF team, they are by themselves and doing their thing every year without having to be asked or anything. They just do an amazing job every year. So I just want to give a major shout out to them, to the CTF team. Cool. Awesome. So our winners this year, and this is talking about on-site winners. First place was the duck. Second place. So I'm happy to. I forgot to grab the prizes, so they're still upstairs. So if you are one of these winners, I will catch me right afterwards, and we'll go get you your prizes for this. So I apologize for that. But first place we had the duck. Second place Meow, and third was Natty Kate's. If you actually notice on this, there actually was a different third place winner. This team was actually one of those remote teams as well, so they didn't qualify for the prize. But I wanted to give an honorable mention to them, to DCUA as well for that. So if for those on-site winners, if you will just catch me right after this, I will make sure you get your prizes for that. So they're all getting Amazon gift cards for the different amounts as well. So T-shirt sales. So T-shirt sales went great this year. In fact, we've basically out of T-shirts, and so we were able to raise $4,435 for our 3 T-shirt charities. So I just round of applause for that. Tech Bridge Girls, EFF, and Gardens of Golden Gate Park will all be receiving a donation from BSides as a result of all of you buying shirts. So thank you so much for that. So a little bit of information about the network. So we had a 1 gig link from WebPass from Google, Wi-Fi, and about 1.4 terabytes are actually downloaded, about 400 gigs uploaded, 24 different Aruba APs around the space, about 1250 unique Wi-Fi clients. Interesting split between PEEP and WPA3. If you notice on the thing that a lot of people can just join in WPA, but it also is interesting to see the people who went a step above for better security by getting on PEEP on the secure network. So that's an interesting metric at a security conference. So we had 4 different tracks that were streamed live to YouTube. And a special thanks to our NOC team for helping make all of this possible. So Robin BS, Ghost Pep, Griffin SecDev, Landrat, and Video Man. So round of applause to the NOC team. Yes. Additional event stats, 0 missing presenters. Do you know how rare that is, that we don't have somebody that just called out at the last minute or something? So that is amazing. So one of our staffers was born within the last year. So we actually born in the last few weeks. Had a child, and so one BSidesSF baby. We had, again, 1 robot t-shirt left for all the ones we sold. We're definitely going to be buying more next year. 3 live stream interruptions for various things. Over 10 pounds of jelly beans were consumed by the staff. Yes, we love our jelly beans, especially the sour kind. Over 50 sponsor-donated prizes were raffled away, and there were some really cool stuff, like worth lots and lots of money. So I'm very thankful to all of the sponsors for donating all those things. And if you were one of the lucky ones that got one of those, then good for you. That's really good. We sold out of all of our registration swag bags. We don't buy enough in excess because in past years we've learned that not everybody takes a bag, and we don't want to end up with a lot of waste at the end. So we try to be environmentally conscious about things. We'll probably increase that number for next year based off how numbers have gone, but we also want to make sure that we're just not throwing a bunch of stuff away at the end. And this is not, so these numbers are not final because we haven't done Teardown yet, and we're going to be here for the next, 5 hours at least. Over 1 million steps. It's over 500 miles that the staff have done so far. And again, this is not a final number. We walk a lot at this. Your feet are killing you. But it is amazing to see that. It's just a fun kind of internal game that we play of just seeing how many people who's had the highest step count for the day. Well-deserved thanks. So again, while I am the lead organizer, I am by far the only one that involved in this. There's no way that this event would be possible without everybody you see here. So I just want to say everybody's name. Most of them, unfortunately, are not in the room right now because they're upstairs actually cleaning things out. But I want to give a major shout out to Alex, Asta, Corinne, Crystal, Ian, Isaac, Juanita, Lauren, Megan, Ming, Nick, Ricky, Ryan, Sarah, Steve, and Tanya. We have our staff of Brandon, Daniel, David, Dom, Eric, Jason, Jitters, Julia, Matthias, Mr. M, Niru, Ron, Shufig, Tom, and Yash. The CFP review panel this year was Brian, Evan, Jackie, Jessica, Corinne, Kim, Kelly, Kyle, Lewis, Maggie, Tarek, and Will. Again, our NOC team, as mentioned earlier, Video Man, Griffin, Hannah, and Daniel. And a special thanks to Joe Fitz, for the electronic badges. This is mostly his work. And so I just want to give a special shout out to Joe for that. So let's give a round of applause for everybody here. Again, this is a full 100% volunteer team. A lot of these people give a lot of their time, and we appreciate them and their significant others as well, who put up with them giving us this much time. And believe me, I've heard it from multiple times from significant others. They're like, hey, you see my partner more than I do sometimes. I'm like, sorry. But yes, then obviously this weekend we had a lot of people helping us out, over 200 volunteers doing all kinds of things across the event, set up and tear down, registration info desk, room moderators, safety ops, behind the scenes, and volunteer ops. Worked over 300 shifts for over 1,300 human hours worked. That's amazing. Let's give another shout out to all of our volunteers. So we give challenge coin recipients to kind of our special people that have made a special contribution to the event. Generally, these are volunteers who have done something, gone above and beyond what is normally expected of them. And so this year's challenge coin recipients were Tom D, Tom G, Asta, Kim T, Night Owl, Nicolina, Grace, CPAT, Noja, I apologize if I butcher all these names, Nia, Adi, and Dana. Major shout out to all these people for all their hard work and that they earned a challenge coin. These are not given out much at all. And so these means these people went above and beyond and actually did something substantial to actually make this event happen. Yes, let's give a shout out to that. Yes, indeed. Thank you, sir. And finally, I want to say just a major, kind of shout out to our sponsors. So it would not be possible without all of these sponsors. I mean, we do our best to keep our tickets prices as low as we can. But this is a very expensive conference to run. We are the most expensive B-Sides in the world as far as just like the amount of the money it takes to put this event on, because we are in San Francisco, one of the most expensive cities in the world. And things just cost a lot of money, especially the last years due to inflation and other kinds of things that have happened here. That it does. So this conference would not be possible without our sponsors. I really hope that you were all able to go and talk to all the different sponsors in the participant hall and able to interact with them because they really contributed a lot just by, not just, giving us money, which is great, and we love you sponsors for that too, but by being here, participating in the Career Village is important as well, making sure that, the roles that they had, we're actually making it to our participants to meet those connections and hopefully get some people jobs right now. So again, special shout out to all of our sponsors, especially our 5 leading sponsors: Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, Secure Frame, and Wiz. So let's give a round of applause to all of our sponsors. Woo. So again, you heard me earlier talking about all the stuff that is, so much time commitment. It's true, but it is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I've been doing this since 2015. and no plans to stop yet. But we need help with this. And so if this sounds interesting to you and you're one of those special people that would love to help out with helping make BSidesSF a success in the future, then we'd love to hear from you. But keep in mind that it is a non-trivial time commitment and such, but you can apply online at BSidesSF.org/jobs, and we will be in touch in the coming weeks for that. And then separately from just kind of being a general BSidesSF staff and lead, we also have our program team. So this is the one that actually putting together, deciding what presentations are on. This is the review team, all this kind of bits and pieces. And so we're looking to expand the team specifically for this. This is another non-trivial time commitment, but it is more time constrained. So if you're not able to help for year round, maybe you're only able to help for a couple of months. This generally happens in like the December, January timeframe where things are really kind of targeted there. So if that's of interest to you, if you go to BSidesSF.org/CFP, there is a Google form there that you can fill out, and the CFP, the program team, will be in touch with you in the coming weeks as well. So we want to hear from you. Again, your feedback means a lot. It helps us shape what this conference is. We take this all into account. It really means, it's very valuable to us to understand what do people like, what do people not like. I make this joke every time, but like we heard for many, many years that the coffee was terrible. And we tried multiple vendors, and we finally have found one that people seem to like. I think this is our fourth coffee vendor that we've gone through. It is apparently really hard to find a good coffee vendor here in San Francisco, but we're very lucky for that. But again, this feedback is meaningful. So whether it's food related or something about a talk or whatever, we want to hear from you. You can give general feedback directly at BSidesSF.org/feedback, and we'll go through that in the coming weeks. And then if you have any specific feedback about a session, whether a presentation, a village, a workshop, whatever that is, if you go on SCED, there is a place, and you go to like the actual talk itself, the session, there's a place at the very bottom where you can actually provide feedback there, and we will go through all that as we do our debriefing. And finally, I just want to say, again, thank you so much for coming this year. It really means a lot. And we're already planning for next year. So next year's dates officially announced are going to be April 26th and 27th. So it's going to be a little bit earlier than this year. But we hope to see all of your smiling faces there again. Thank you again for coming to BSidesSF 2024. And thank you again. See you next year.